Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are looking at Christmas cards. I thought that we would do a run of Christmas cards towards the end of the month because there's still time to get your cards ready before posting them off at the beginning of December. So we're using the gift wrapped and we're going to use the tiny little stars in this one and the sentiment A Very Merry Christmas. And we're using the Life is Beautiful and we're going to use these lovely snowflakes and we're going to make a wreath card. So I've got the Stamparatus out because the Stamparatus is a really good tool to use, and we need a piece of cardstock which measures 5 inches by 5 inches. So if I open it up, what I tend to do is to get, and I think most of you have or have used a Stamparatus or a positioning tool. I must admit I really do like the Stamparatus, and I have made my own, as most of you will know, I've made my own template. And this allows me to do a wreath very simply and easily. I've done it on the grid paper that fits in here, and then I have just laminated it because then I can use it again. I've had this for probably coming up 2 years now. So if you want to find it, you can just look back at Wreath template under my name and you will find it fairly easily. So we're putting the 5 by 5 in on here and lining it up, and then I am going to put the snowflakes down and I'm going to line them up just at the top here, so I have the space where I want them to go, and then we're just going to pick them up with the lid very carefully, and we've then got it where we want. Then we can put our piece back, and then I'm using, purely because my cherry cobbler is getting a bit dry and I haven't got any re-inker and I can't get any stock of it at the moment. There's been some problems, so we're literally just going to stamp this round. So if you move it to the next position and ink it up, and we're just going to go round. So I'm doing this because I want it to go with the designer series paper. So literally you just move it round, and I found it makes a beautiful wreath. I really enjoy using the Stamparatus, and it's one of those things that I don't use it often enough, and when I do use it I think, oh, I really should use it more often. So we're just going to work our way around, and it does take a few minutes, but it's well worth it. And you can see I have got ink blobs on there, but they won't actually go through because they won't go down onto the, because there's where the stamp is, you find that they don't go down, so you have to make sure you don't get your fingers in it, but that's where the Simply Chamois comes into its own, because you can clean it up between rounds. So you're literally just going to work your way round and take it just sort of level in each one. As I say, there are quite a few different wreath templates on the market that you can buy, but me being the thrifty crafter that I am, I decided that I would make myself one, and the first one I made just out of cardstock sorry, just out of the paper, and after I'd used it a few times it got a bit mucky, so I thought, right, I will make myself one. So here we can clean all of this up first of all, so we know we're not going to get it on our fingers, and then just clean the stamp out so you have a nice clean template on there. And as I say, make sure you haven't got it on your fingers. Okay, so we're now going to put it round straight again where we want it, and we're going to put another one in between. Now you need to just sort of look and see where you want it, so it's not going to come across the other ones that are down, and I think that's probably about right on there. So let's pick that one up again, and we're going to go round in another space and put this one round, so we can work our way round again, and just lift it up as you go. Yes, that's perfect. And then just move it round. And it's quite nice sometimes doing patterns when you're doing it on with little stamps. Little stamps work very well with these sorts of things. Large stamps work well, but this I think just works absolutely perfectly, and it's a very simple way of doing it, but it looks very, very pretty. And I love these little snowflakes. I think they're just lovely. They do make such a pretty pattern. So let's get that on there, ink it up and move it round. So I hope that most of you have got your Christmas things almost made. We did our lovely series, just finished that, and I thought, well, I haven't made any cards for 24 days, so I thought, right, there's always a few more that I need to send, so I'm just doing the last round of them. And again, because quite a lot of the cards I post, I don't like to have too many layers, because the postage can be quite horrendous at the moment. And if you get some layers up, particularly if you're sending a lot of cards, and this year I am sending lots of cards because there's so many people that I'm not going to get to see over the festive season. So that's now given us our piece right the way round on there. So I can now clean this one up again, and I can put this one back in its case. So let me just put that one back in this case in here. So this is the Life is Beautiful and the little snowflake on here. And then we are going to get out the pretty little star on this one. And it's a tiny little one, but it works absolutely beautifully, I think, with this, because it'll just add that little bit of difference. So let me put the case in underneath here, then I know which one I'm using. And we're going to put the star in on, going to have it there, so to make sure that I've lined it up where I want it. So I'm going to have the big star facing outwards and the little star, two little stars facing in, and then we can put that up, get that straight, and then we're just going to go round just once with this. So put the star in, and it just adds just a little bit of extra on there, which I think works really well. So once we've got a couple in, you're going to be able to see that it just adds that little bit of something in on there. And I could have used, there's the little hollyberry one in there, so that's quite a pretty one to use. But literally you just work your way round with a wreath template and stamp around. Move it round to the next one. But yes, I like these little stars. They give just that little bit of twinkle to it, which I think is always really rather nice to have. Make sure that's lined up straight. You do find I have two magnets with this. So I have one that holds the wreath template down, because laminating it does mean that it is a little bit more slippery. So I have one on the card and I have one on the actual template. So I think that's the last one coming up here now. There we go. Okay, so that's all of those done. Let me just clean that up again and make sure that I've got the outside nice and clean. Take that little stamp off. And then because I've got the template out, I'm going to, or the Stamparatus out, I'm going to use the A Very Merry Christmas, and I'm going to put that on, and we're going to have that in the centre. It's quite funny, there are different ways of saying the Stamparatus. When it first came out, it was apparatus, and it was a stamping apparatus, which makes Stamparatus. Because that's how I say it in the UK. And I think there's different ways of pronouncing it depending which country you've come from. So for me, I say Stamparatus because the pronunciation of apparatus is apparatus. So it's Stamparatus for me. But I know that we have lots of different ways of pronouncing it. So I want this so that it comes just in the centre, but I want that little tail in, so I'm just going to put that in there, pick that up, and then I can ink that one up, and then we're going to have our lovely A Very Merry Christmas right the way across the centre. There we go. And it stamps beautifully each time, so I don't need to do it at 2 or 3 times. You can do, because obviously a positioning tool, it's positioned in exactly the right place, that you can do it a few times. So let's just put that in on here. So yeah, so if you're looking at giving a Christmas present to somebody, or you're watching this and you haven't got one, this is a great Christmas present to give anybody. It comes with 2 plates, but I'm only using the 1 plate at the moment. So you've got a plate here and a plate there. You can do your hinge step down, so you can actually do all sorts of things. And I might do a few more with the Stamparatus, because as I say, I don't use it enough and I really should do. So let's put that out of the way for now, and let's get this back in. Okay, so I have taken, and I've got the last few sheets of the Classic Christmas, and I've got, so this is 5 by 5. This I've taken an inch, so my card base is 5 3/4, so this is 5 1/2, and then this is 5, so that there's a larger border than I would normally have, but I really wanted to just have a bigger border on this. So I'm going to, let me just get some wet glue. We'll put this down and then we'll do a bit of decorating on it. So let's get the, get some glue out. Now, if you wanted to, you could take the center out of this and use this for other things, but I've used this paper so much that I'm quite happy for it to be a full piece going down on here. So let's line that up so it's straight and put that down. Then we're going to put this one in on top like that. So again, let's get some wet glue. And once you've got your Stamparatus set up with the stamps, you can really just do like a mass production thing. So you can keep going around and do quite a few of them if you wanted some which were exactly the same. So I'm using that side, putting that one down like that. Okay, and then I think I want to just add some little twinklies. Now we've got different sort of, get my box out, we've got different twinklies in here, and I really like the metallic pearls because they're quite small. I could use the wonderful gems, but I think that they're a little big for this because it's quite a tiny image. So I'm going to use these ones, which are the gold metallic pearls. And I'm just going to get my pokey tool to pick them up. And this will just add a little bit of extra in on here, so we can have where that little space is there, I think will work quite well. So we'll have one there, and if I then take it round, I've got another space there. It's quite good to try and do them again because you've got the wreath that comes round. So we'll have this one here. Oops. That's that space there, isn't it? So I can have this one there. Space down there. Whoops. Turn it round the other way. Pick it up. One down there. One down there. And normally when you put twinklies and things on, you have odd numbers, but because this is a wreath and you've got that symmetry going on, you do want to have everything running through in exactly the right place. Okay, so that has just given just a little bit of twinkly in on there, which I think looks really nice, and quite a classic, quite a simple card, but looks so pretty. Now you could do it all in embossing, so you could emboss it all the way around. Lots of different ways of doing it, but I really like the simplicity of the pattern of it and just thought it looked very pretty with the snowflakes and the little star in there. So we've used the Life is Beautiful stamp set with the snowflakes in there, and we've used the gift wrapped for the sentiment of Very Merry Christmas and the little stars, and the classic Christmas in the papers. I will have details of them down below for you, but thank you so much for watching me, and as always, please stay safe, please stay well, and please be kind. Bye bye.